Right, continuing on from, sorry about that, a bit of a technical hitch with screen capture. Anyway, continuing on in our series on and get better level 6 and 7, although some of this might level 8 in terms of the difficulty, maybe not the content. So first of all, we're going to just review rationalizing simple denominators like these two here and here. Okay, just give you a minute to have a go at that, and then I'll go through two. Right, here we go. So let's have a look at this first one here. We're going to do 1 to 11. To rationalize the denominator means we want to make the bottom a rational number. Square root of 11, that's an irrational number. We do that is times both top and bottom square root of 11. So square root of 11 times square root of 11 equals 11. 1 times the square root of 11, square root of 11. So the denominator, which is the bottom, is now rational. It's only the top that's rational. Similarly here, we're going to times top and bottom by the square root of 6. 6 times the square root of 6 is 6, 15, 6. And then we can see that 3 goes into that twice and 3 goes into. So we're left with 5 root 6, 2. Okay, this is carrying on from yesterday's lesson, and start off with something a little bit tricky here, using all these techniques of powers and rational and surds and things, and to just try and do some bit of problem solving here. What we'll do is I'll just put it so there's only one problem on the screen at a time. So there's the first problem to go at. Give you 60 seconds to see if you get started on, maybe even finish it. Again, the chat's there for those questions or query answers if I make a mistake. Try and keep it better than yesterday. Right, need to be exact with these. Okay, there's them chosen, so you don't actually really need to be exact with working these out. Just look at some rough things. We know that this number is going to be less than the square root of 36, and it's going to be close to 6. So it's sort of 6-ish, this number. Well, we know that this number is going to be between 9 and 16, bigger than 3, and it's less than 4. So we know it's between 16, so let's put that range there. Then this one, 8 into that. Well, 8 goes into 32. 3/8 over, so you've got 4 8s there. See, look, we're really getting a size factor here. And then we've got 3.58 here. If you do anything with that, we can see that's clearly the smallest number. There's 3.8 here. Then 35 over 8 will go here. And then next will be the square root of 38. And the biggest is actually 8 squared. Okay, moving on to this number. I'm just going to give you a tip. Try and take out a common factor on the left-hand side. 60 seconds to have this one. Click to this. Take a common factor out the left-hand side. I had a sorry. Okay. off. Right, so the trick to this, again, is to be able to factorize these two numbers. Just get factorize these two numbers. I like to write it out completely. 2 times 2 2 times 5 times 7. And we've got a 2 times 2, 3, 5. And the highest common factor, what's common to both? So we have a 2 common to both, and another 2 common to both, and another 2 common to both. And we have a 5 common to both. So that's my highest common factor. So my highest common factor, 2 times 2, 2 times 5. And you'll see why I've written it out that way. Sorry, just tidy that. 2 times 5. Now, the lowest common multiple is going to be the same numbers. Here, 2 times 2 times 5. Times by what's left over. So times by 2 times the 3 times 7. So we only use these ones which are repeated once. Don't use twice. So we'll just do 2 times 2 times 5. Those are the repeated ones. And then we're going to times by the rest. Here, the 2, the 3, and the 7. Times 2 times 7. Sorry, it's just screen. Let's get back on the screen. And we can see straight away, we want to work out what this is. Lowest common multiple divided by highest common factor. Well, this is the LCM on the top, and this is the HCF on the bottom. That's how you calculate them. So cancel that with that, cancel that with that, cancel that, and so on. We're just left these numbers, the 2 times the 2 times the 3 times the 7. So that's going to be 4 times, it's the easiest way, 3 times 7 is 21, times 2 is 42, times 2 is 4. Right, that's the end of that section. Let's move on to the powers. We're going to look at just finish off powers on this. So I think it's a good idea to finish off powers. I'm going to look at powers at levels 8 and 9 and just finish off powers in the series. Okay, so here's some more indices. Remember, you've got the sheet, powers notes, if you really need to use it. Try and do it from memory. See if you can remember what it is. I'm going to give you just 10 seconds to go the first one. Go through it with you so as to help you remember. You can have another go at the rest. Okay, let's have a look. So 125 to the power of minus 1 over 3. The minus, remember, means 1 over. So you've got 1 over 125 to the third. Third means cube root, and the 1 means to the power of 1. So that's equal to 125 cubited, then all to the power of 1. Cube root of 125 is 5. 5 to the power of 1 is just 5. So just call 5. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to see if you can do these two. And then we'll move bottom. I'll give you an example. Bottom one. That. So 4 to the minus 3 over 2. So the minus means 1 1 over power of 3 over 2. Remember, the 3 means cube and the 2 will mean square root. 1 over square root of 4. Easy to do first, and the cube. Remember, you can do the square root first or the cube first. I think it's easy to square root 4 first. That gives me 2. And then I cube it 8. So this will be 8. Now, when I got the minus, it means I flip my fraction. Got a fraction. Okay, these I didn't have fractions, to put 1 over it. When I've got a fraction, 1 divided by this number means I get 36 over 1. So, I get 36 over 1. Well, I'm going to get rid of the 1 because 36 over 1 is just 6. And we'll do that to the power of half, which is the same as square root. So that is just 6. Okay, I'll do this one as an example and then give you another 30 seconds or minutes to have a go at the other two. So 27 over 125, the minus means flip it. Flip it. And then I got to the power of 4 thirds. Now I've got to do that to both. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cube root both because it's easier to cube root these numbers and it's the power of 4 them. Let's just cube root both numbers first. So 1, 2, 5, 2, 7. And then do the fourth power second. So cube root of those is equal to cube root of 125 is 5. Cube root of 27 is 3. So I've got 5 to the 4 and 3 to the 4. Well, we know 5 to the 3 is 125. So that is just going to be another times 5, so 625. And then let's times it by another 3, so that will be 81. So we'll get with 6 over 81. Right, a few minutes to have a go at the other two. Okay, let's have a look at. So the first thing we've got to do is turn this to a top heavy fraction. So 5 times 9, 45 plus 4 is 49. 9. I want to do that to the minus a half. Minus, remember, means flip. So flip it, power of a half. And a half means square root. So we've got square root of 9 over the square root of 49. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 49, 7. Let's do the same again here. 15 times 8. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 5 is 40. There's 120 plus 5 is 125. 8. And if you didn't do it that quickly, that means you need to practice for mental arithmetic. Okay, go on to mental arithmetic apps and get it speed it up. So do the minus. Let's flip it. Then to the 2 thirds. Remember, we're going to cube roots is usually easiest first and square second. So we're going to do the cube root of 8 over 125 and then square all of that. The cube root of 8 is 2. Cube root of 125 is 5. Still need to square that. And to square that, 2 squared is 4. 5 squared is 25. So we have 425. Okay, right. Now, what I'm going to do is just give you a little bit of advice what to do with these questions. We'll do them one at a time. Okay, so we'll do these two first. I'll go through them. Then this one, go through it. Then this one, go through time. So the key to this is to try and write both sides as the same power. Right, both sides as the same power. And I'll give you a hint. So you can write both sides of this one as a power of 2, and both sides of this one power of 3. See that? Have a go at those. Right, I'm guessing a lot of you are going to find that quite tricky to do that in the time, but that is the right amount of time to need to do this, because we are venturing level 8, 9 stuff here. So if you do find this tricky, what's a good idea? If you go back to the top of the page, you'll notice I've given you links to the My Maths tests, and you can go onto My Maths if you have subscription to that, and you just click onto this, and it will take you into the test, and you can do the test. You'll need to log in with the school subscription first, and if your teacher does it, then log in with your own credentials after. So you can do that, or you could just rub these out and have another go, or hopefully I'll leave you some blank. Anyway, let's have a look at this. You should get 2 to the a plus 2, which we can't change. Well, 64 is a power of 2. You've got 2 to the 1 is 2, 2 to the 2 is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. That's 6. I was moving my fingers and see that. So we've got 2 to the power of 6 is 64. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. That is 6 numbers. So we can see that a plus 2 must equal 6. So therefore, take 2 away from both sides and a equals 4. See why I've only given you 60 seconds to do both. That's quite easy to do in 30 seconds if you know what to do. Now, I told you these is both as powers 3. So 9 is 3 squared. Do this over here. So I'm going to do 9 to the b equals 7. 9 is 3 squared. Power of b. 27 is 3 cubed. So cubed. 3 squared to the b. Remove the brackets. We times those together. So we get to the 2b. And then remember, to get rid of the fraction, this is 1 over this, we make it a minus power. So it's 3 to the minus 3. Doing these things in reverse now. Now what you can see is we've got the same number here and here. So therefore the powers must be equal. So 2b must equal minus 3. So b must equal minus 3 over 2. Right, and this one's a question we're playing around with surds. And while you're doing that, I'll move all this out of the way to give me some working to do this. So I'll give you a tip. Get rid of the fraction first. Get rid of the fraction first and see what you do. Give you 60 seconds to play with that one before I go through. Right, so there you go. Notice no questions. Either my explanations are good. Don't feel like asking questions. Feel free to do so if you do want to. We've got just over 5 minutes left of this. It looks like I'm going to leave this difficult out and maybe try and just get onto some easier stuff for multiplying brackets. Leave that one. You can puzzle through that. Might put that in later feeds if it's time. So what we're going to do is we're going to times by the bottom. That's how you get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to times both sides by this, by x plus the square root of 2. Get rid of the fraction. Don't like fractions. So we times the left-hand side. That just means we're left with 7x minus root 2 times the right-hand side. We get 5 times x plus the square root of 2. Now, let's get all the x's together. Probably the easiest thing to do in this case. Not always. Sometimes I divide by this 5, but here I'm going to actually multiply out my brackets. I get 5x 2, and I mistake. One of the most common mistakes is make a transcription error. That's copying your own stuff wrong or copying the question down wrong. Now we can get all the x's on one side and all the square root 2's on the other side. So take away 5x from both sides. So we get 2x on the left side. Add the square root of 2. Actually, I'm going to leave the square root of 2. Minus square root of 2. And just if I take the 5x here, I'm left with the 5 square root of 2. I just didn't want to do too much in one go. We're just adding the 5x to both sides. So that means if you add, oh, I made a mistake. 5x plus 7x is not x. It's 12x. I said take away. No, so I'm taking away. No, I didn't make it. I'm being idiot. Right, listen to me. First time. 7x minus 5x is 2x. Right, now I'm going to add the minus root 2 and get one lot added onto 5 lots is 6 lots of root 2. And then I want to divide by 2 and 6 as times there, so I can just cancel straight with this to get me 2 as final answer. Right, let's just do something nice and easy to finish off because that was quite hard. And we'll do some brackets work. So some nice easy, see how many of these you can do. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to see how many you can do. You should be able to, might be able to get through all. Go for it. Questions going around. Sorry, a bit longer. Thinking of writing my answers underneath the time as you can see them, but then I realised you can see the questions. Give you another start. Just going through those questions. Okay, you can keep going if you want, and just glance up and just check. I get 8a times this out, 16. 5 times b is 5b minus 5. 5 times 7 is 35c plus 5. 7 times 4 is 28. D minus 49. What are we doing here? We're factorising by 9. 9 times n gives 9. That gives me that. I'm going to take out a factor of 8. 8 out of 32 is 4 in here. Now I've got, got to have this right. This is a little bit trickier. So 7 into 63 goes the 9 times 6. Yep, it's 50 in here. Yeah, 8 into 8 times something is 24. Gives me the 3. And 8 times something is 8. 6. There. Okay, right. Write down two expressions to the perimeter of the shape, one with brackets, one without. 30 seconds to get both. Let's see if you can do it. Right, so with brackets, we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 shapes. So it's 5 times t plus 4. Without brackets, 5 times t is t. 5 times 4, 20. Straightforward. Right, I'm going to stop there because that is half an hour, and that's what we're aiming for. And we've got all this to get through a little bit more. Added a couple on. We've still got plenty of time to do that. This would be a good warm up to start our next lesson. So we'll stop there today.